Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode, a Christmas episode
It's a Christmas episode
of You Haven't Seen That Podcast, or White Just Tea for short. I'm Isaac.
I'm Elva.
And this is a show where we cover movies on that growing list of films that has people asking us the question, You haven't seen that? Merry Christmas, everybody, if you're listening to this on the day that it dropped. And I hope you enjoyed our little special Christmas gift yesterday. I am a nerd, and I really enjoyed doing that, and I thought it would, something nice to do for people. So I hope you liked and shared it and stuff like that. And if you're new here and you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, not only did I put a little special episode out, but you can see the little video that I did for it on our social medias at
Why Justy Pod
on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you like what we did, if you want to throw a little, Christmas spirit our way, we appreciate that. You can do that on Venmo at
Why Justy Pod.
Thank you in advance. And we wish people a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and all that fun stuff. It's been busy holiday season. Mm-hmm. Alva continues to be back on the couch.
So far,
yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna get kicked out.
Yeah, with stutters like that and leaving it in. And then, of course, next week we do have a pretty packed week. Usually we do like the one episode a week, but next week, if you're listening to this on Christmas Day proper, we have our year-end wrap up.
Yep.
Right, we're doing the brackets again.
Yeah.
Because once again, nobody complained about it last time, and we, for the most part, had fun. For the most part, and then we will be kind of quickly going over all the movies, or at least like the notable movies of 2026. The ones I'm excited for, honestly.
Yeah. So we're gonna do I think our top 5 of the year that stood out to us, respectively.
Okay. Yeah, and on our regular episode drop dates, we're covering it's going to be a 3 movie packed episode. So which means no games, and we'll get back around to those.
Mm-hmm. Most likely next year.
Technically, we'll see you next year.
Wow. I wish I had a video.
Nope.
I wish it was recorded.
Hey, you know what? You know what I want for Christmas? Video cameras for a video podcast and editors. That'd be really nice.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, thank you very much. Anyway, so I know we teased it all month long, but we are finally, this is take 21. We're doing a breakdown / review, so to speak, of Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair / volume 2. Mm-hmm. And I'll explain what that means in just a second. But go back to one of our first 2-3 takes or something like that. The first couple of reviews.
Yeah, first couple.
We did Kill Bill Volume 1. It took a minute to get back around to it. Alva had not seen any of those movies, and it's been fun to experience those with you.
So I think when we did Volume 1, I did end up saying in it that I have seen parts of it. I just never seen full beginning to end movie, sat down and watched it. Same thing with this one, because there was a scene or two for Volume 2 that I'm I seen that one, but I think it was just passing by or something.
Also, with the big Quentin Tarantino movie like Kill Bill, arguably one of the more popular ones, it's dude, there's either things that are memes or there's just the general lexicon, things that are referenced. I mean, fuck, I wrote down so many things that are just stuff that I say that are quotes from this movie that I forgot. Also, speaking of which, I forgot to mention too, since our last recording, you and I, our first Christmas movie of the season, we went out to go see a re-release of
How the
Grinch Stole Christmas, the 2001, whatever.
With Jim Carrey.
Yeah, with Jim Carrey. And goddamn, what a fucking blast.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing that movie as an adult and being able to appreciate maybe some jokes that I didn't get before.
Oh, definitely.
Or just the appreciation for Jim Carrey being an all-around, just the GOAT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what the hell was I going to say?
I don't know. But I do like that we've been going to more of these re-releases where it kind of gets us off our couch.
Yeah.
And into the theater to actually focus and not have our phones on and actually appreciate the movies that we actually did like when we were younger or in a younger age and stuff like that. So I don't mind doing those re-releases.
Well, and in regards to our podcast, where we have to rewatch these things, and some of the ones we had to sit down on our couch and watch it on our TV, and we will sit and watch it all the way through, but it's very tempting to get distracted by our phones. It's very tempting to get distracted by ooh, what's that in the window? Whatever. It's not. We're not in a theater.
It's also very tempted to like get very comfortable on the couch.
I'll be a little bit like more dozy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we see these things in the theater, albeit re-releases, dude, it's just so amazing to be forced in a sense to lock in and enjoy the movie how it's any movie supposed to originally be enjoyed, which is on the fucking big screen, which I may or may not be teasing that, Lord of the Rings is having their re-releases. I'm not going to see all 3 of them on the big screen, but we will do Fellowship of the Ring for the past 2 years that we've been talking about this.
Since we started this, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just been daunting.
I don't know. Okay, so I know that I can fall asleep in movie theaters. That's easily said.
Let the record show.
But I have a thing with Lord of the Rings. I don't know what it is.
Oh, you've actually seen it all the way through.
No, I have not. That's a whole thing. Like, I have not seen it. I have sat down to watch it.
That's what I mean to say.
Yeah. But every time I sit down to watch it, I fall asleep. And the thing I don't understand is this is totally up my alley with like fae and fairy, like all these things. Like, I could read books. I could listen to the audiobooks. I could read books. I could watch shows,
Just admit, because there's no sex in it. Although the implied sex with Frodo and what's his face?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of fan fiction you can easily fall into, but
you were quick on that.
Everything now has fan fiction out there. There is nothing that there is not there. No, but the thing is, that's the only movie that I have tried to watch multiple times at different stages in my life where I have not fully stayed awake.
We'll expand more on that if and when we do cover Lord of the Rings. But so anyway, so we're happy to be back on the couch covering Kill Bill. The excitement to see you enjoy it was just a ton of fun.
Yeah,
honestly, that's why I brought up the Grinch. Because Jesus Christ, my fucking brain. Look, I took a B12 and I'm letting the caffeine work through my body. I should have given it another minute. But anyways, the Grinch. I was talking about quotes, right? This movie, a lot of things are in my vocabulary with quotes. The Grinch. I forgot how many things, every other thing the Grinch says is something that I fucking use as a quote.
Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's just built in. And so when I popped up on screen, I'm gonna go, oh my God, I am built of the Grinch.
You are the Grinch, and I'm Cindy Lou.
Now I grew the belly of the Grinch. Anyways, we're talking about Kill Bill. Okay, so the reason why this is a Kill Bill Whole Bloody Affair / Volume 2 is at the top of this, I want to just go through what the Whole Bloody Affair is. And then once we're going to get done talking about it, we're just jumping into Volume 2. Like I said, because we already covered Volume 1, there's no need to go through all that rigmarole. That being said, if you listen to our Volume 1 cover of it, which was more of like a breakdown scene for scene, I'm not going to exactly do that. I've been changing these formats so they're more like conversational, so we have more fun with them. Definitely no audio thrown into there.
Oh, yeah.
The thing with the Whole Bloody Affair, for those who don't know, Quentin Tarantino's original Kill Bill film, 2003, 2004, was supposed to be one big movie. But as Tarantino, any big director like that, who gives a shit about making the movie, this script like blew up and it took off in between him creating it with Uma Thurman, the collaboration, and then just it growing on its own. This turned into just a very big script that if he were to have released it, again, it would have been like a 4-hour plus movie, not to mention that would have been like a really bloody movie to the point where it would have had to have been rated NC-17. So there goes your fucking audience. So needless to say, it had to get split into 2 movies. But, you still have to present it, even though it's one movie and you have to cut it into 2, you have to still present it as each volume as its own movie with a little bit of a cliffhanger, a little bit of a finish to sort of take care of that momentum. And it's, it wasn't like with Wicked where it was, although those were 2 parts, so one big movie, the 1 year later to release. This one, these movies were released 8 months apart. So
must be nice.
Yeah. With the Whole Bloody Affair, I'm just going to say this much. Sitting down and seeing the Quentin Tarantino feature presentation thing come on screen, I didn't know exactly what to expect. I heard whispers of they've added a couple scenes and they've changed some things around. This is the movie that Quentin Tarantino wanted and more. And from within the first like 5 or 10 minutes, younger me was elated to the point that I was choked up being able to watch this. I got really emotional. Like that's what movies are to me. You know, some people like movies. I love movies, obviously, but I wasn't crying. I didn't have like unched tears, but I was choked up because I felt like it was such a privilege to be able to see not only this movie on the big screen, but Quentin Tarantino's original vision on the screen. Like it felt like I never thought that, you know, in all these years as a kid that this was ever going to happen or that I was ever going to be able to see this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And you kind of felt that within like the movie theater itself.
Oh, everybody was sat down, man.
Also, I as we were sitting for intermission or some, I overheard someone that we were in the concession line with during the intermission. They're like, I haven't seen this movie. And I'm like, I haven't seen it.
Oh, that's great.
So I think they went with someone who has. So I felt like wonderful. I wasn't the only one that's like, oh, I haven't seen it. Because I didn't want to be like, I've never seen this.
You know, the same thing happened when we went to go see Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
You were familiar. Yeah. I wasn't. And it was cool to, it's cool to experience it with people who are familiar with it.
Yeah, because before Pride and Prejudice, I knew the lines and I knew everything. And that is my, essentially like the Kill Bill part. So
with the whole bloody affair, it's 4 hours long. And I loved every fucking minute of it. There is an intermission, because it is a 4-hour movie, and it is cut perfectly where Volume 1 and Volume 2 is, but there's a few things that are altered because it is one big movie. So in the original 2003 release, at the end of Volume 1, it ends with Bill revealing that the daughter, Bibi, is still alive when he's talking to Sophie. Does she know that her daughter's still alive? It's my best David Carradine. The whole bloody affair doesn't do that, and it changes this emotional mystery, right? The audience doesn't know, like, well, especially for you as a new viewer, but you know, just in this format, the audience at that point doesn't know that Bibi's alive. We still think that the baby is dead, right?
Yeah.
So that at the end of Volume 2, when there's the face-to-face chapter, and Uma Thurman as the bride finally sees her daughter still alive, that emotional scene, although very emotional in Volume 2, the original 2004 release, was even more emotional. Like it telegraphed more of that heartbreak that she felt, that character felt, you know, the tragedy of like what she's gone through. Fucking amazing. I mean, just it's such a literally, it's removing 2 lines and then letting just the whole thing play out. It is such a tiny thing. It's like the less is more, and it was very crucial for the original vision, specifically with Bibi being alive. The other thing that they changed in the whole bloody affair is we get to see the battle, the Crazy 88 House of Blue Leaves whole fight scene in Volume 1 in its original colorization. So full blood, full gore.
Yeah.
I do think there's a few other like bits added. I think like someone getting thrown to the wall. Some of those little things. There was an animated sequence, an anime sequence. So when we get to explore O-Ren's origin in the anime format, there is an extra anime scene that was originally deleted, and we get to see that. As fun as that scene was, it changes how you view O-Ren. It sort of makes her origin story kind of similar to the bride. And it doesn't weaken her, but in that whole anime sequence, she struggles a little more than you expect her, or you've seen her struggle in any other scene. And so that makes her a little bit more human. Because without that anime sequence, originally, like O-Ren's character is an unrelenting badass, unflawed, unwavering.
Yeah. I actually like the little extra scene for the anime thing, because it did make her, like, just how you said, like, without that extra little scene in there, it made her look like a badass, but it also made her look even more of a badass, including that scene, like showing that more humanized version of her ups that badass for me. So for me, I kind of like that for her.
Okay. I could see that. No, I could definitely see that. Other than that, though, nothing else for the most part, I don't think was altered or changed too much. So if ever this does get like its own release, not, you know, I don't know if they'll ever re-release it in theaters, but like if there's a DVD or Blu-ray
or streaming,
some way you can see the whole bloody affair, you do yourself a favor if you're a Kill Bill fan and rewatch, especially if you haven't seen it in a while, which we hadn't. So now we jump into Volume 2. And at the end of Volume 1, O-Ren's dead. Vivica A. Fox's character's dead. Which is Cottonmouth, Vernita Green.
Mm-hmm.
And Bud, Al, and of course, Bill are left. Overall, with Volume 2, Elva, how'd you feel compared to Volume 1? Even though it's one big movie, but so just the second part of this one big movie, how'd you feel about it?
It was much slower.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, my attention span was struggling a little bit to continue to stay focused on it.
In the movie's defense, 4-hour movie, we saw like a 6 or 7 p.m.
Yeah. But I did rewatch just the Volume 2 all over again. I think like a couple of days after. Because I felt like Volume 1 was such a fast-paced movie. And I kind of felt like, is Volume 2 like you have to be within that little niche space of like liking this movie? So I had to watch Volume 2 again. Also because I had to like get notes and everything because I did forget a lot of like the things that I wanted to talk about. But that second watch was where I was like, okay, I get it. I understand a little bit more of like why it's a little bit slower and stuff like that.
So to expand on that, like Volume 1 is definitely the flashier part of it. And people go back and forth on which one's bad. I don't give a shit. I enjoy. They're like children. You enjoy them both. One's a little more flashier than the other. But with Volume 1, and I think I said as much with Wicked for Good, is they set up everything.
Yeah.
They set up all the questions and all the background and all the lore for the most part.
That's kind of how I felt. Like,
yeah.
I was like, one was like, here we go.
They got you. What? Oh, damn it. I wish I knew the Leonardo DiCaprio Django line. You have my attention. You have my curiosity. Now you have my attention. Or whatever. Flip around. Fuck me. But it felt like it's that.
Yeah. So when it was like Volume 2, like I felt like I was watching a little bit how you felt with Wicked for Good, where it's like, oh, but it's a little bit more slower pace. And I'm like, okay. So even the second watch, I was like, no, I still appreciate the movie for what it was. I may not be a Volume 2 girly then. I may just be a Volume 1 action scene.
But you would still need to watch both of them all together.
Oh, of course, yeah. So you could just finish finish the thing.
So here we are with Volume 2, and it starts off with the bride. It's a recap of the bride's death and her narrating. Man, I always forget how much I love Uma Thurman as a character because she is reasonable, but she's rageful. Her superpower, if we remember, is willpower and fucking unbridled rage. Mm-hmm. And it opens up with, "Look dead, didn't I? I roared and I rampaged." This is one of the few movies I think where Tarantino isn't dropping F-bombs for every other character. Every other character's line isn't an F-bomb. And so I feel like this one out of maybe all the other ones feels more poetic, more spaghetti Western.
Mm-hmm.
So like
definitely
everything that they're saying, it rolls off the tongue and it's so tasty. I mean, I could quote this movie all fucking day. And needless to say, Tarantino's music was curated by RZA, is still amazing, and I still revisit the soundtrack.
I mean, we tried revisiting the soundtrack before recording.
Fucking Spotify, dude. So it opens up in black and white with the massacre at Two Pines, which is the chapel. And she narrates that the legend goes, the lore goes that, it was during the wedding. And she corrects that it actually isn't. It's during the rehearsal. And we get to see that rehearsal. It's the first time we see her be normal or attempt to be normal, which is something that later on in the movie, Bill mocks her for.
Yes. It also gave me one of those, how there's always those spy movies where the one spy is trying to get away from that life.
Totally.
And they go into this normal life and everything. But for some reason, they get called back. And I felt like that's what it was. Like at that moment, he came back and was like, "Hey, are you sure about this? Is it like are you really sure about this? Because we know how it's going to end.
Right.
And it's not going to be pretty." And that it kind of reminded me of that. I'm like, I don't know if I like that.
So speaking of which, right? So remember, I'm the one that usually has to like rewatch the movie so I can take notes again. And I noticed something a little different. So and again, I'm not going to go scene for scene, but later on when the bride and Bill are having their face to face, and she's under the influence of the undisputed truth, which is his version of the truth serum, and he's throwing some tequila shots back because that's a version of his truth serum. He wants to know, what she was doing, trying to live this double life and everything. And it's great interaction. I'll expand on it more later, but it's her final chance to ask him like why he did what he did. Right? There's moments of it where you get to explore the character of Bill as this pretty chill guy, but he's the leader of an assassination squad, right? A league of assassins. And so he's a cold-blooded killer. He's a bastard, his words.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But you see him being a cold-blooded bastard in the volume 1 just by him having these team of cold-blooded killers. But this finally getting to see this side of Bill, or just the reveal of Bill, David Carradine beautifully playing Bill, has so much layers, so much depth, where you get to explore him being a sweet and chill person. You get to see his love for the bride. But then in a moment, you get to see this knee-jerk reaction of being a cold-blooded killer. In the end, when he's having the face-to-face with her, he originally, the reason why he showed up at the chapel wasn't to kill her. Because at first I thought, as I wrote down the notes for that first scene, is it sucks that he planned this assassination for the bride. Because, there's at the end of that scene, the camera pans back and you see the rest of the members ready to unalive everybody. And I thought, wow, this guy is really, really holding a grudge because she broke his heart. That wasn't the case. As he explains later, he was actually trying to search for the person that he thought killed her. Because at the end of the movie, she reveals to him what happened, why she ran away. And it was because when she came back from a job, she felt ill, took a test, found out she was pregnant, and knew that in that moment, she couldn't raise a baby in this life, which
valid.
Ultimately, it looks like what he was doing, raising BB, and the way that he's like introducing her and making her comfortable with death.
Yeah.
So she was in her right to do so. The unfortunate part was she broke his heart in the process because she didn't cover her tracks good enough. So in the process of him trying to find the killer, his words, and what did I find? You were getting married and you were fucking knocked up. You were getting married to some fucking jerk. And I thought, well, he doesn't know much about the guy that the bride was marrying, Tommy.
Oh my God, yeah.
But their little interaction at the chapel reveals that. So Bill's very mystical, right? He's playing his flute. She hears the flute, and it's a look of wonder and fear. But at first I thought, oh, she knows that there's a chance she's going to die. No, it's just she never expected him to find her, right? Because she never thought that he could or would do what he did to her. And their interaction is very loving, and it's very respectful, even though they don't exactly air their grievances then and there. He sees that she, for whatever reasons, wants out of the life. But there's a moment when Bill is about to mention that he had a dream about her. Here comes fucking asshole Tommy coming in to interrupt.
It's always Tommy.
So that, I think, was the moment where Bill decided, I think I'm going to kill them.
No, what it was a stupid trope that's like the girl breaks the guy's heart and then the guy goes and be like, let me get you back. And then at the end, the guy that is supposed to be like the cover for her leaving the guy comes there, and it just becomes like this whole like, instead of it being like, no, pick me, it's like the reason you really didn't cover your tracks was because you really want to make sure that I knew that this was done, that you were out of this life. And I'm just like, really?
That's what you think that she did? I doubt that, because she's such a professional. Sure, she slipped up, but I also think that he's a better tracker than she is good at trying to hide it.
Yeah, but if you're such a professional, you would freaking hide.
See my previous statement where I just said, I think he's a better tracker than she is good at hiding it. Remember, he's the leader. He's the top dog. Mm-hmm. That's where I think she didn't do that willingly. That's such a big risk, even if she didn't think that he was going to kill her.
No, that's just my opinion of the movie. That's just like,
I get it. And I kindly, forcefully reject that.
But I kindly forcefully like put that out there because that's how I saw the movie in my eyes. Like as I'm viewing it the first time, I'm like, okay, cool. But it was once I saw it the second time, I'm just like, oh, we're playing these tropes and spy movies and romance movies and all these things.
So the reason why I think it was Tommy was the one that sort of pulled the pin on the whole grenade is there are a couple scenes later on in the film where Bill's being chill, and then, like I said, at the drop of a hat, reacts violently and then laughs it off afterwards.
Yeah.
And then says, was my reaction really that surprising? Like, yeah, dude, you were a cold-blooded killer. You just did some horrible stuff.
But that's what he does for a living, so you expect that from him.
No, but she, again, watch the movie again. We'll take a pause. Let's go back. Let's watch the movie. She proposes to him. She brings up the question, I knew that you could do that. I knew that you could pop a cap in a fool. I know that you can perform a coup de grace on someone. I totally know that you can do that. I accepted that you can do that. Quote, I didn't think you could or would do that to me.
That's just you being stupid.
Go back and watch the movie. It's the illustration of their love is there in their interactions. From even at the chapel, she kisses him on the lips. You know, like there is this undying love.
Oh no, I get it. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, no, I do get it. Like I 100% get it. But it's also those moments where I see it. I'm seeing the movie for a first time, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? We're doing this, and it's like a different. How I view the movie was way differently than what you saw the movie. And I think that's why we're not really agreeing with how these things are. But the one thing that kind of, the whole kiss on the lips after she called him dad, I was just like, that is just gross. I cannot, like, I knew you guys had like this relationship prior. And then like you, and I know you're trying to make it seem like he is. So you're not getting that who is this guy? And, you know, make it like not drama on the normal people. But once that kiss happened, I was just like,
Can we get Alba's quote?
That's some white people shit. But yeah, no, it was just like, that's just gross.
I totally get what you're saying about like being a first time viewer. I've like lived with this movie in different iterations. And so like, I'm seeing all these pieces unfold and you know, Tarantino, like the clues are there, you know, I mean, you know, to put the nail on that is that scene ends again with the camera panning out of the chapel, reveal of the deadly assassination squad, Viper assassination squad. Gunfire erupts. The bride's last line, "No Bill," is just heart-wrenching. That's where the performance of Uma Thurman comes through. It's in that yell, you can hear that she didn't think that he was going to do it. You know, and it's like an ultimate heartbreak.
I think it's also like an ultimate heartbreak that he would do it to her while she's pregnant with what he thought would be somebody else's kid.
And then fucking shoots her in the head. Damn, that shit's wild, though. That's some toxic masculinity bullshit, though.
Yeah, because, like, I understand that perspective of, like, him, like, okay, like, so this is it. Well, then you are getting out of this life, but you're not getting out of this life and living a life that you want to live. You're getting out of this life, but you're going to go 6 feet under. Yeah, it's the only way.
And all of that, too, the exact sentiment that you just said is shown in the rest of the remaining members, the living members of the squad, which cuts to, so we then go to the next scene, which is Bud and Bill, who are brothers. I don't see the resemblance.
when they're like, brother, I was like, when are we, is this a family thing now? Are we, is a family business? I need to know.
But Bill, no, great question. I know that I do wish there was, it's one of those things where you want to know more about like how they all came up, but there's also the wonderment and the mystery of not knowing. Yeah.
Because at this point, I feel like it's more of like the viewer's interpretation of the movie for certain things.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because Bud is a fucking alky shit kicker piece of shit. I mean, in comparison to Bill being like kind of mystical and wise. Although, so that being said, in every other interaction with everyone else, Bill he's mystical, he's wise, he loves his flute, he loves his sword play and stuff like that. You know, everyone else having their Hattori Hanzo sword, that's because he's like, nah, you all should have a sword, right? But the only time that he feels like a normal guy, outside of a few lines at the very end of the film, is with Bud. His brother, the person to the only man I ever loved, Bud.
So with going back to everyone has a sword, I feel like this is like a, if you don't have this, you're not part of our club kind of thing. But the fact that it's not just any type of sword, it's like a specific made for you sword.
To the point that when Michael Madsen as Bud is explaining it to Elle, and it's the only time he has this mystical wonderment about him. There's the word of the day. And he says, I don't know the exact quote, but he just looks off into the ether and says, to compare a Hattori Hanzo sword is to compare to every single sword ever made, knowing that it's like the best of the best. Which, why did he tell Bill and later tell Elle that he pawned the sword off, which he claims for $250, priceless?
Because I feel like in his way, if he said like, oh, I pawned it off, I don't want to be involved anymore. I'm fine being where I'm at right now. But in his way, I felt like maybe it was like a jab to his brother. Like, yeah, I sold your damn precious sword. Like, I don't want to do this life anymore. Because even like when he went up there, he's like, it's okay. Like if she comes here, I guess. And if she doesn't, then it's fine.
I also think that it's similar to a couple of the other characters that thought that they were stepping away from the life, but there's always something kind of left over. Like Vernita Green, you think she's just a house mom, has a fucking gun in a cereal box.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's just the guy version of that.
Because his regular day-to-day life is terrible. Works at a strip club
as a
that has no clients.
Security guard.
Yeah, as a bouncer.
Yeah.
With a shitty boss.
In a shitty trailer in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of a quarry?
Yeah.
But he looks like a misshapen piece of shit. Like, how could this guy have been one of the top 5 best assassins? And when the bride inevitably finds him and tries to take him down, he's ready. So my thought is like, was she originally just going to assassinate him? Or was she going to like have a whole showdown? Is he honorable?
I think she thought that he might have not been 100% with his senses because of how he's living. He's not really like, But see, here's the thing. He's like using the power of deception to like trick her. Oh, I live in this crappy place in the middle of nowhere. I just looks like I stopped even caring about everything. So I think she went in there with the intention with everyone else. But he was like, I'm ready for you. Like, I heard you a mile away.
Which then shows you, like, this guy, the brother of Bill, who's also the top fucking dude, his senses were not dull. Not only was he ready for her, but in his own style, fighting kind of dirty. I mean, a double-barreled shotgun, rock salt to the chest. I wrote down dirty pillows. To the chest. Ow.
Yeah.
As, like, badass as she was, I mean, at that point, like, her guard was down.
Yeah, and I think it's because she had such confidence with everyone else that she thought going in it's going to be just like everyone else, but didn't expect him to always be ready, but not show that he's ready.
You got to be ready so you don't get ready, or whatever they say on those shirts. I do have another question, though. One of the last lines Bud has with Bill is, and it's such a great line, but then he like double backs on it, right? But it's his one mystical thing where he says, that woman deserves her revenge and we deserve to die. I don't shake from my comeuppance. And then he like quickly goes, but if she's coming towards us, well, I'm going to fight. Yeah. I'm like, so do you respect her? Do you not? I know that you're Bill's brother and so you got to back family. But it seems like he was one of the few people that regretted what they did.
Yes. So I feel like if he were to be vested in this fight, he would have been okay with it. But he's not going down without a fight. He's not going to just take the kill. Like, he's not going to just get killed. He's going to put up a fight. He's like, I know I did wrong. I regret what I did. It was wrong for me to do that. Yeah. I understand that I take responsibility. But I'm also a man that's not going to back down. I'm going to defend myself until I can't.
And I also think that the motivation on top of that, of everything you just said, which was great, is the movie showing Bud having a shitty life.
Yeah.
So it's like, ooh, a taste of my old life. Yeah. Excitement. And the joy on his face. And he does kind of fight dirty. Again, rock salt, fucking burying her alive, threatening mace in her face, in her eyeball specifically. I'll burn that eyeball right out of your fucking head.
I mean, at that point, it just became torture. Like,
yes,
he was having a little, like, okay, a little fun. I think that was also him being like, you kind of fucked my brother over. Here's a little bit of payback. Although we already gave you that payback, but I resent that. But because my brother reminded me all over again about it, let me just go ahead and, you know, send you off with a little bit more of a payback.
I think it's more on the Joy side, just the more of a sadistic side than anyone else. Although I think the top, which leads me into this point, I think the top sadistic person out of all of them was Elle, because of how she wanted to, in volume 1, wanted to kill the bride in her sleep, and then double cross Bud, put the Black Mamba snake in the money bag. Fucking dirty move. For what? Because she hated him? Or was it because the bride at that point met her end to an alky, what did she say? An alky piece of shit like him. So did Elle ever play nice with anybody? Because even though I know it's Kill Bill, it's technically Bill's the villain, as are the rest of the people on the list. But like, I think the big villain, like the person you cannot trust, is Elle.
Oh, 100%.
Elle, I think, and I wrote it down here somewhere, it feels like more of like an unchecked bride.
Oh, I love it.
You know, blonde, blue eyes, eye, singular, one has one eye.
Hi. To be honest, I think Elle was one of my favorite characters.
Absolutely.
Because it was like I will pretend to work as a team.
Yeah.
But I will fuck you over any chance that I can get because I don't trust you.
But she does, but the only difference other than her having almost the same amount of unbridled rage that the bride does is she has some honor, but she has, she lacks the willpower that the bride does. And in that weakness, she needs to compensate for it. And then she does dirty shit.
Yeah.
But even though when she's killing, when Bud's dying in the trailer, this is following, he asks her the question after they exchange money for the sword. He asks her, what's your biggest R? She says, what are we talking about? Well, you know, when people retire, they have the 3 R's. It's like regret, something. I didn't write it down, but, you know, she says, well, I have regret and relief, right? A little of both. To which he calls bullshit on her. But when he's dying on that floor, she tells him why she feels the regret. She feels the regret that someone who was the best warrior that she had ever met. So there is that honor, there is that recognition, and sort of that respect. Because she, even though it's kind of dirty to kill somebody in their sleep, she was awarding that to the bride in volume 1. That people like themselves don't get afforded that.
Yeah, I get that.
By the way, real quick, when Bud's dying, I had realized something. This isn't the only time Tarantino has had a character recite something relatively mundane that kind of makes it sound badass because the other person's dying. Pulp Fiction. Jules recites Ezekiel 25:17, right? And she has her notebook and she's totally you, reading off fun facts about the Black Mamba snake. And she's just joyfully, she's like reminiscing on the word gargantuan. You know, I never get a chance to use that word gargantuan.
I think maybe that's why I liked her, because it's like the little black book of fun facts. Using all these things, like, I never get to use that.
To close out on Elle, going back on like her not having that willpower, there's the whole Pai Mei sequence, and we might talk a little bit about that in just a moment. But when Elle and the bride have their showdown, Hanzo sword to Hanzo sword and Bud's shitty trailer, the bride asks, say, just between us girls, what did you say to Pai Mei to make him snatch your eye out?
Oh, yes.
What was happened is she called him a miserable old fool. Remember, Pai Mei doesn't like, one, he doesn't like Americans, doesn't like women, and doesn't like any kind of sass. So she had it fucking coming. Because when we go to the Pai Mei sequence, he's impressed by the bride. He's impressed by her ability to unrelentingly push forward, even if she didn't manage to punch through the board with a 1-inch punch.
Also, I think a lot of it was she put her pride aside. And the little flashback sequence of like her training and stuff like that, you can kind of tell that she wanted to talk back in a way, but was like,
yeah,
I am not going to learn if I don't put that aside. And I think at the end, that's why you could see that change.
Yeah.
He was pushing and pushing to be like, I'm going to make you give up, but didn't expect her to be like, I'm not giving up. I put it aside.
Absolutely.
I put my ego, I put everything aside to learn.
Absolutely.
And that's why he respected her at the end, like to a level of like, you listened, you went through it all, intense.
Yeah. Which also makes me wonder. So let's go into the whole tutelage of Pai Mei, right? The chapter is the tutelage of Pai Mei, the cruel tutelage of Pai Mei, which opens with Bill telling the story of apparently the 1,000-year-old Pai Mei. The lore runs deep. Who, by the way, Pai Mei is actually based off of a real person.
Okay.
Yeah, who did massacre a bunch of Shaolin monks or fought them or whatever. When Bill, in that whole sequence, which I love how it's shot, because it's shot like old school Chinese or Japanese films where it's high contrast.
I love that.
The overexposed sort of like enhances the what you would call like halation, right? The whites are sort of glowy, right? When he drops her off, and it was on the second time watching, I go, how long was she supposed to be staying there training? Because he says, he'll come around to you. So just kind of mind your P's and Q's for the first year or so. I thought the training would take a year at most.
No.
So how many years was she there? That being said, at what year did Elle kill Pai Mei? And did Bill question if it was a short visit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just curious about that. Not that the movie needs to explore that. Just a curious thing that it sort of presents. Because Bill says, for the first year or so. And I just want to know like exactly how long was the bride training, or did he send people to go train with Pai Mei? And did he send everybody to go train with Pai Mei?
I think it seemed like that. The way that they all kind of fought.
True.
Kind of had like...
I just can't see like Bud running up and down those stairs.
Maybe Bud was one of those that didn't train, or maybe did train but changed his ways kind of thing. Who knows? Because now Bud, maybe early Bud, younger Bud would do that, not old Bud.
That's a good point. Yeah, in shape Bud.
Yeah.
Pre-mullet.
Because like, even like Bill was like, I hate these stairs. But like at the same time, like we're only here for the story of the bride. So at this point, I'm just assuming everyone has trained under Pai Mei because that's how Bill wanted to be trained.
And of course, we have to mention the very fun fight sequence between Pai Mei and the bride. By the way, Pai Mei is played by Gordon Liu, who is one of the other actors who plays a dual role. Michael Parks plays a sheriff, but he also plays Esteban later on in the film. Gordon Liu also played, was it Crazy Mo? I don't have it written down here, but the leader of the Crazy 88s.
Oh, yes.
Remember?
Yeah.
And he's also playing Gordon Liu. But Gordon Liu has been in the original Pai Mei films, but he was Pai Mei's enemy. So now he finally gets to play the white-eyebrowed, satisfying beard flip guy.
Fucking hilarious.
So good, dude. God damn it. I just want to I know we're covering it, but I want to rewatch it again now.
Can we pause? I'll go to the bathroom.
Yeah, me too. As Alva's away going to pee, I got to mention, the one thing that popped in my head is with the 3-inch punch. I thought, that's what I call sex.
You would. 2-inch.
Hey, man. I don't think that's going to pick up on Mike. How dare you? Okay, it's the first time in our podcast that we're acknowledging a bathroom break because there's no clean edit. Welcome back, Alva.
Hello.
All right, back into it. So I think it's worth mentioning for those who are not familiar with the movie, and just as a reminder, the reason why we go into the cruel tutelage of the Pai Mei sequence is right after the bride is buried underground, alive in a coffin by Bud, and it seems that she's fucked.
Oh, yeah.
This is basically the Pai Mei sequence is her remembering, her training in essence. And that brings us back to, like what I said earlier, the 3-inch punch. But also, Dusty. I mean, that's rough.
How do you get out of that? Anyways.
I would have panicked halfway.
Anyways, I have a question. If you were buried alive, would you fight to get out?
I'd have no other choice.
Yeah?
I was going to literally lay down and take it.
Yeah, I'd take a nap. Like, fuck it, let's go.
Okay, dirt nap.
They're like, I know more bills. Let's fucking go to sleep. Let's...
And another thing worth mentioning is that reminder, all throughout Volume 1 and half of Volume 2, we've been calling her the bride. And I think the idea of that is to keep her character a mystery. You learn her backstory through her actions. So she is just the bride, a bride that got brutally beat to shit.
Always the bride, never the bridesmaid.
You're just waiting for that one the entire time. But when we actually finally get the reveal of her name, although it's been hinted through 1 and 2, kiddo, is Elle is consoling Bill over the phone after she says that, oh, I'm sorry, baby. She put a snake in Bud's camper and he's dead now, right? Pinning it on the bride. She says, but if ever you're feeling sentimental, you can go over to El Paso, Texas, go into a flower shop, get yourself a dozen roses, and head on down to such and such cemetery and find your way to the graveyard of Paula Schultz. And there you'll be standing on top of the final resting place of Beatrix Kiddo.
Mm-hmm. Name revealed.
The completely unnecessary little sequence where she's in school, although Uma Thurman in a schoolgirl outfit, I'm going to be a guy for a second. Hot. But the rattling off of other kids' names. I wrote down some of the names. Marty Katrozer. I don't think I get that one. I don't know if that one's supposed to be dirty. Melanie Whorehouse.
Yeah.
Pretty on the nose.
Yeah.
Beatrix Kiddo. Ding. Fun, clever. Now we know her name. So now when they call her Kiddo, now you get it. Now she's finally, through the storytelling is like all the pieces put together, her being like a real person instead of just the bride.
No more the bride. No, I'm a Beatrix.
I thought you were going to say the bridesmaid thing again.
No, tricks are for kids. That's all I got to say is about stats now.
Elle does meet her end, ? By the hand of the bride. So after they have their face-to-face and after revealing what she said to Pai Mei to have him snatch Elle's eye out, I mean, if you were Kiddo, and you basically adored Pai Mei, especially if he taught you the 5-finger point exploding heart technique, which evidently he teaches no one, you're going to want to take your revenge and plucks Elle's eye out.
Now she's blind.
Fun fact, Daryl Hannah, who plays Elle Driver, went the extra mile and flailed around a lot more when she had her eye plucked out, to the point where she got a bunch of cuts and bruises. She's really trying to sell it, which is one of the most fun sequences because you hate this chick.
Yeah.
And death is too simple. She deserves just to go completely blind. I feel like there's a volume 3 somewhere where maybe Elle partners up with Vernita Green's daughter.
Maybe. Or maybe the snake gets her. Because she's blind. So if she's looking for stuff.
You know what? I can actually see that. Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah. Okay. I'll accept that.
No, because I feel like it'd be such a cop-out to be like, no, it's going to be the other kid and this one. And then go, I'm like,
the reason why I say question mark is because on the final credit sequences, there's 2 sets of credit sequences with the same actors and their respective characters' names. But on the second set of credits, when you're going down the list of actors, Michael Madsen crossed out, Bill crossed out, so on and so forth, and then Elle Driver ? So even Tarantino's like, oh, I don't know, leave a thread open. You know.
That'd be dumb. Be a dumb way. I don't know. I feel like she would have to die at the hand of her own.
Her own doing.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's how these types of movies go. It's kind of sort of the what's in the suitcase in Pulp Fiction. Your interpretation of it.
Drugs.
I'm not going down that rabbit hole. We were supposed to cover Pulp Fiction a long time ago, but the person that was supposed to cover it with was like, I already watched the movie, so I think I'm good. I'm like, so you don't want to do it? Fuck, fine.
Yeah. Continue.
Okay, now, second to last scene, the last piece of the puzzle to find Bill, Beatrix visits Esteban Viejo, played by Michael Parks. Again, Michael Parks also plays the sheriff. And he is this, he used to be a pimp, so now he's just at this place called what is it? Botanero Cochon? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Not like regular Spanish?
I don't know if it's like a name that you just put, I don't know.
And an additional fun fact, and this is just more behind the scenes, the sequence where she's driving her blue convertible, this sequence, or this one shot, cost Uma Thurman and Quentin Tarantino their friendship. You know what I'm talking about? Have you heard about this?
The accident?
Yes. So evidently the stunt woman didn't think that she was needed on set anymore because it was just a simple, driving sequence, not an action driving sequence. Uma Thurman felt like it was too unsafe for her to do. And he's like, well, we need to get this shot. And I think Zoe Bell wasn't on scene, but we need to get this shot. Schedule. Convinces Uma Thurman to do it. And she inevitably crashes into a tree. gets a bunch of cuts and bruises, damages her knees. I think suffers a concussion.
Something about her back too. It also was Harvey Weinstein as well.
That as well.
That egged on Tarantino to actually do the scene, do it now kind of thing.
Oh, okay. He pressured.
Yeah, and then also it's like drive at 40 miles an hour so you get your hair blowing a little bit.
And so when we were watching in the theater, now knowing that fact, as we saw that scene, they use 4 seconds of it.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't need it. You didn't need it. You could have figured something out. That sucks.
Also, I looked up botanero cochon. Botanero means bar, and cochon
mattress
is like a pig, like a pig bar. Pig? Yeah, like it's a very extremely offensive slang term for a homosexual man.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and that
I just thought it was like a cutesy name.
No, and that's just in some parts of like Central America.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm glad you looked it up.
You're welcome.
Needless to say, Esteban. I keep saying needless to say. Whatever. Esteban is like he's old, but he's charming. But because he's old, it's gross. The way that Michael Parks is playing him with these like half blinks,
like an old pimp. Yeah.
Please. Call me Esteban.
Yeah.
And he has, he's a pimp, so he has his lines. He even says, he goes, Bill, I have to do it. It's so fun. Bill, shot you in the head, yes? If you were my number one woman, I want to just cut your face. Which, when he calls one of the other girls over to get them some drinks, she does have her face cut. I thought it was going to be like a cheek cut. He cut from the top lip down.
Oh, yeah.
So, by the way, so Esteban is sort of the first father figure of Bill. He maybe wasn't like a murdering bastard, but he still was heartless. And so raised Bill to be that level of heartless. And you get to see it. Oh, my God, the line. There's this one line worth mentioning where he goes, I heard you were driving a truck. And she's like, oh, yeah, my pussy wagon died. The pussy died. You know what? I remember when I was a or a young teen, watching this scene. It was one of the more boring sequences, right? So, which gives way to like people's mainly saying that the volume 2 is significantly slower. But I fucking enjoyed this entire sequence. His performance is wonderful. It's got so many shades to it. And also, I forgot to mention as well, Michael Madsen playing Bud is Madsen later in life, before his death, obviously. He wasn't in and didn't really have great roles. But given a good script like this, he's chewing the scene. When they're at the graveyard and he's burying her and stuff like that. Like, it's so enjoyable to just see him pace out the scene and feel it out and let it simmer. It's one of the most enjoyable things to watch. I think that and Michael Parks' performance is one of the two I favored the most out of everyone in the entire movie. Both movies.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of felt like her going to meet Esteban was a little bit of the slow scene for me.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay. Oh, we're going to add more cushion into this before we get to Bill? Got it.
You think a cushion?
Yeah.
See, I think that this movie serves as more of an exploration for Bill, as well, obviously, as well as Beatrix, but mainly Bill, and to be able to visit his father figure, a person that raised him since he was 4, seems like the scene to do it. Like I said, after revisiting it as an adult now, like, I really enjoyed the scene for it doing that. He does end up helping. This is the least violent clue that she's ever acquired, and he's willing to help her find Bill because, quote, it's what Bill would have wanted. How's he ever going to see you again? Because he knows, again, going back to the very beginning of the film, this movie also it explores the deep love that Bill and Beatrix had for one another, even though Bill's a fucking cold murdering bastard. And now we're finally at face to face. The bride, I gotta stop saying the bride now. Beatrix, kiddo, B, sneaks into Bill's place. It's just what is El Paso? Or the sort of New Mexico, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's just some town.
Yeah.
It's just there.
It looks like senior living.
Yeah, to be honest, yes.
It's got valet and a lobby and everything. Nice place, though. I mean, totally suiting of David Carradine. I think this is one of the few times that she has her gun drawn. Everything else was covert and knives and swords and shit like that. But she has her gun drawn. She has her sword on her back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You want to know why? Because she got shot in the head. She's going to shoot Bill in the head.
Maybe she just knows that Bill. I mean, she also knows that Bill's a swordsman, but maybe she knows that he's also a fucking gunslinger too. That's true. Yeah.
No, she wants the same payback that he gave her. So it's only poetic that she fights everyone else with the sword, and Bill gets the gun.
I see what you mean. Okay.
It's technically the die by the same sword.
And then this is the scene where we get the reveal of BB still being alive and the few minutes of Uma Thurman emoting both rage and bewilderment and love and acceptance. Like she's going through all the stages. And the little girl that plays BB is so perfect and adorable and like feels natural. God damn, dude. But watching it a second time and ultimately watching it within the context of the whole bloody affair, the scene was, I did choke up. It was a very emotional scene. How did you feel other than sleepy at this point?
Very anticlimactic about it. It was like, oh, cool. We're here. We're at the end of the movie now.
I'll give you that.
Like, oh, okay.
Because, I mean, arguably the biggest fight is the house at Blue Leaves, the crazy 88 and everything like that. Like that's the biggest fucking battle. Meaning the bar set real high.
Yeah. No, I just mean like with the whole watching Volume 1 and Volume 2 together and then finally having like, here we go. And everyone kind of gets like this epicness. And then you're just like, oh, well, hold on. I gotta tell you the longest fucking story of my life right now of how this and that shit. And then over here.
It's storytelling, Alva. Damn it.
And then I'm just like, is Bill just waiting, like drawing his time? It's one of those things that I don't like in those movies where it's like a heist or anyone's trying to kill the bad guy. And then it's like, they're like, hold on, before you kill me. Hold on.
You know what? If it were one of those movies, I think I would wholeheartedly agree with you. But because, and I'm sticking to this, it's two scorned lovers. That's the difference. You know, there hardly is ever that mutual departing, separation rather. You know, no one ever did anything wrong in order for them to separate, other than like the obvious, you know, getting fucking popped in the head. So there's all that resentment. So that's her rage. But still, there's that unresolved love.
Yes, it's the unresolved love. But okay, so I don't know if it's because I seen this movie at such a later point in my life where I am just, oh, you're gonna use a kid as a shield while you tell a fucking story?
I do agree with that.
Like fucking hell, like what are we doing? Kill the guy or don't kill the guy? I don't listen to your fucking story after you shot me in the face.
But it's been established since Volume 1 that she won't do that in front of a kid if she didn't have to. Which this is Bill. She knows that there's the way of honor where they can't have that showdown. You know, he's OG like that. Although she's the one that tries to like jump the gun once, you know, BB's put to sleep, and she tries to like run for the sword on top of the TV. But she knows him. She thought she 100% knew him, but for the most part, she knows him. And not only, you know, I think we are then in Kiddo's shoes. We also want to know, why did you do these things? Let's get the unequivocal answers, which I think that it was perfect that the both of them had their like respective, you know, quote unquote truth serums, one being literal and the other being some tequila. You know, every couple who splits, maybe they don't have the conversation. Like they all want to know, like what really happened. I want the conversation. I want to know before we fucking slash each other's throats, before we kill each other, have the showdown on the beach and this during dawn. I need answers. I need to know. I went all this way. I could totally just, you know, we could go out in a big old bloody mess, but I want to know.
I find it very anticlimactic though. Like you go through this whole trouble of doing everything and then you have to like, hold on, let me tell you my part.
But this isn't that type of like quote unquote action film. This is a Tarantino film where he's telling stories.
No, and I understand, but like this is like my opinion of that
I know,
moment.
no. I know. I'm just correcting your opinion.
You can't correct my opinion because it's going to get repeated.
I absolutely can.
No, you can't. Like even when I rewatch the movie, I'm just like, all right, cool. No, this last scene, I still stand with. I'm like, really? We're gonna do this? We're gonna wait here and like, and I get it. I get it. It's the whole storytelling, the whole how it is, and I'm not saying like, oh my God, Tarantino, you could change this whole thing. No, like perfect. You know, that's his vision. That's his thing. That's how he wants to tell a story. Amazing. He did amazing doing it. But for me, that part was just like,
see, but I think that if the movie was to be done your way, where it's like, and then she goes in, he's there, and sure, the kid's there, and she saves the kid, and it's a whole big old showdown, it would have been flat. It would have betrayed the style of storytelling and everything. Because none of the characters ever died in a big bloody mess. It was, the little bit of the back and forth and this epicness. And sure, this epicness, maybe the dialogue didn't happen as they were fighting, but I think it was something that needed to happen.
Yeah, I just felt for me it was like a little bit too drawn out.
You know what? I'll give you that. I will give you that. I mean, like their conversation ran really long, and then ultimately the fight was pretty quick, mind you. David Carradine is he's an older man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, he was Kane in Kung Fu. He could do that stuff back then, and he can't move like that now. In fact, perfect segue. I saw a deleted scene, which was a flashback of Bill and Kiddo walking the streets of, I think, like China or something like that. And I didn't know this at the time. Michael Jai White, you'll know his face, was like a bad guy in the film, and he confronts, they have a sort of showdown in the streets, and this like crazy sword fight ensues. But Bill's choreography, if you will, was like, and I'm very swift with the sword, blah, blah, blah. So he doesn't have to, in essence, move around a lot. And that deleted scene was, I think, rightfully, and people probably argue with me, I think rightfully deleted, because it was just, I know there's a lot of things in the movie that were relatively campy, but this one was like ultra campy, what with Michael Jai White's like Cockney accent or whatever. And like with the Oren animated edition, it changed how you looked at the characters, and so by deleting those sequences or those scenes, you allow for that character to retain their mystery. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so the rest of everything else then just relies in your head. It's you make the story in your head. So I know they have their conversation, but one of the I thought it was fun. That's not the right word I want to use, but like Bill's a dick.
Duh.
And when he's talking like through BB, when he's making her a sandwich and everything, and Uma Thurman like is saying nothing. Beatrix is saying nothing. She's sitting there quiet. And in fact, there's not even a camera like on her other than just a wide shot. It's just a one on Bill and one on BB. And they're talking about death. And, he's being honest about what to BB about what he did to Mommy. And I shot Mommy in the head. But for real, I'm like, dude, you were going to raise this kid into this assassin world.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like I needed that so that there wasn't the interpretation of like, oh, maybe the bride was wrong. Bill wasn't going to do this, and she was 100% right in her actions. That although the sequence was more drawn out and definitely less flashy than the rest of the movie, I feel like it was really important to establish that.
I also feel like as the movie went on, every scene of them fighting was a speed that they would be fighting at that age. So like the younger ones fought more faster and all this more flashy in a way. But as we get to like volume 2, it's more like calm down. Still this action, right? Still those scenes, but it showed where they were in life.
Agree. A couple of the things that he reveals about her, she reveals herself thanks to the truth serum, is that whole monologue about what he thinks of her, right? Comparing her to Superman, and talking about the mythology of Superman, specifically Superman's alter ego is Clark Kent, whereas Peter Parker's alter ego is Spider-Man. Bruce Wayne's alter ego is Batman, right? They have to put on costumes to be those people. But Superman is forever Superman. Meaning for her, she's always going to be a killer. She's a natural born killer. She's a killer bee, trying to mix in with the hive as a worker bee. And so he then asks her a couple of questions. One, did she really think that her life in El Paso would have worked out? She doesn't. She never thought it was going to work out, but she would have had the baby. And then he fucking coldly asks her, did it feel good to kill? And that's when she calmly nods yes. Every single one of them felt good. And of course, that's where we get the cut scene in the hotel where she finds out she's pregnant. that Mexican standoff is so funny because it's very they're assassins, they're badass, but also, hey bitch, they're like throwing the bitch word around, and bitch. She's like, look, the blue means, she goes, I'll fucking read it. Thank you very much. I got it. With guns pointing at one another. Now we're at the table. It's moments before like the final showdown. And one thing he says to her is, by the way, let me think that you were dead was cruel. What do you think of her actions? They've been, as a team, as a couple, they were perfect, right? She had no reason to mistrust him. In fact, she had all the trust in the world with him. She would have jumped off of a motorcycle into a moving train. Even though she didn't want to, her mother instincts kicked in and she didn't want to raise BB in a world of assassins. Was there a better way for her to have done this? But she knew Bill enough to know that if he would have known she was pregnant, there was just absolutely no way to get out of that.
He would raise BB as a protege. So I felt like, in a way, she needed to create normalcy for a kid. In a way, give the kid the choice of wanting to be in this life instead of being thrown into a life, into a killer, being made into a killer kind of thing. Even though, of course, she could have taught the kid later on in life, like, as they're growing up, all these things. But still, it would be a choice for the kid to be, instead of being like, you're going to be put in here. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter.
I also think that it's funny that, because again, we don't know like enough of her background to understand why she wouldn't want a kid being raised in this. Because if it was anyone like Al, she'd been like, yeah, let's raise a fucking assassin baby. I mean, she's the killer of killers. She's top dog, top warrior. And then this mother instinct kicks in. I think there's like a nugget of her past that maybe would have helped like reveal or help me understand, why she doesn't want kids in this world. I mean, she even says, she goes, I'm a bad person. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, you guys are all killers. You're all bad people.
You guys are all bad people. I'm sorry.
They have the showdown. The sword plays quick. It's fun. And she performs the 5-point palm exploding heart technique. And to his amazement, in bewilderment, he asks her, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't she tell him? When they were good, and after her training was done, why wouldn't you be like, dude, guess what? Not only did I complete my training, I punched through the wood, and I carried the buckets of water up and down the stairs. Motherfucker taught me the 5-point exploding heart technique.
Because instead of him having more power and more knowledge, that would be a whole ego. Power
shift.
Yeah, and
That's a good point.
He doesn't want that.
That's a great point.
Because throughout the whole movie, it was all on him that he misinterpreted everything that was going on. And she ran away from him because she knew if he had a power of a child, that child would be exactly like him. And she would probably get killed off later on. So her keeping this away, it's kind of like having an ace up your sleeve.
I could see that. I don't know about the ace up the sleeve. I get what you're saying. I don't know about the ace up the sleeve because, again, at what the movie establishes is that their relationship is like pristine or whatever. But what you said earlier, I agree with wholeheartedly, which was I think she knew that because he wasn't taught the 5-point palm exploding heart technique. It's hard to say.
Fine.
The move. You're right. I think she would have been like, his ego's going to get shot. He's going to look at her differently.
Yeah, and men don't like that.
A man like Bill, definitely. His last line to her, because she's a bad person. He says, "You're not a bad person. You're my favorite person. ... But every once in a while, you can be a real cunt." Like that's Bill. That's Bill encapsulated right there.
Yeah.
And then 5 paces later, he falls to a death, an honorable death. I think Bill. He went. I don't know. Other than getting cut up at sunset. I think this was the way to go out. Bill has been killed.
Hooray.
Kiddo drives off with BB. When Kiddo is on the floor crying, I thought like, did she get pregnant again? Also by who? But it was just this like overwhelming joy. And you think it's so funny because like, I think that few seconds of her hugging like the teddy bear and crying on the floor in happiness that she, the whole list is completed. The kill list 5 is done and Bill's done and it's all over now. It humanized her even more. I mean, she enjoys killing, but still it shows you that she is loving motherhood even more.
I think it's more of a sense of relief for her that she finally did everything and now she doesn't have anyone else standing in her way.
Absolutely.
Besides that girl that may catch up to her later on when she grows up. But, that'll be...
I wonder if that'll ever... I know we've talked about it, but like, if that gets thrown into like a spinoff, it can't be Tarantino that does it. It's going to be somebody else.
I think she's going to fight BB.
Ooh, that'd be a spin. And then Al's return. So, Malaguena Salerosa plays. Kiddo joins BB on the bed, happy. They're both smiling. And we fade to credits. The lioness has rejoined her cub, and all is right in the jungle. End credits, again, shows all the actors in both films by the actual, like, you know, the scene that they were in, which is awesome. And one of the people that they give credit to, I mean, like, every actor that was in there, there's no, like, side characters. They gave credit to everybody. One of them I met, and I never knew that was her. It's one of my clients. I won't say here who it is, but yeah, she told me about it. She's like, yeah, I met Tarantino. I'm like, what?
I remember when you told me that.
Yeah.
And then when the movie, because she told you the scene that she's in.
Yeah.
And when that scene popped out, we both were like,
you're like, that's
"Ugh."
her. I'll say it's with Michael Madsen. And their aliases, right? So it's like Vivica Fox is Bernita Green, a.k.a. Cottonmouth, a.k.a. whatever.
Yeah.
And I love it's Uma Thurman as Beatrix Kiddo, a.k.a. The Bride, a.k.a. Black Mamba, pause, moment, a.k.a. Mommy. And we've watched Kill Bill, based on the characters by The Bride, created by Q&U, which is Quentin Tarantino and Uma Thurman. So we watched Kill Bill. What were your overall thoughts now that we've ran through it again extensively?
It was a good movie, I think. Sorry.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I think it is not one of my favorites.
No, yeah, I can't see you enjoying it the most.
But it's not like something that'd be like, that was the most horrible movie I've ever seen. I think
No, of course not.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it gets built up and then you get there and then it was kind of like, this is it.
You know, I get that. So that's the thing about going through this list. And that's why, like, I've been so scared to, like, watch Lord of the Rings, because I go, what if I don't adore it the way everyone else adores it?
Yeah.
I've seen clips, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it.
Because it's how I feel about this movie.
And I 100% agree with you. I get that. You know, it's like I grew up with this movie, and I wonder if you were to watch both of the movies back to back over and over, whatever, it lived with
When
it
they
the way
kind of
that
came out.
No, I mean now.
Oh.
You know, would you learn to, like, enjoy it and adore it?
Yeah, no, I just think that this one is not one of my favorites of his.
Which haven't you seen of Tarantino? Jackie Brown?
I haven't seen that one.
Okay. I think you might say that one's even slower.
We'll find out when we watch it.
Okay.
No, because any of the other ones I've liked, and I don't feel like it's that slow pace kind of thing.
But again, you know, and just to defend the movie, and my brother has said this as much, is like these aren't two movies. This is one.
Yeah.
This is one whole movie.
Cut into two parts.
Right. Meaning, like, you know, you're just judging the back half of it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a funny.
Like overall, like both together, watching it back to back, like we did. Amazing, great. Love to do that again. Would not say no to that experience. But because we are just basing this off of just volume 2, because we did not do volume 1 and 2. This is just because we're watching the volume 2. Yeah, it's not part of my favorites of a part 2 movie, but I'm not knocking it down to be like, it's a horrible thing and I wasted my time on it.
It's okay. I'll let you sleep in the house tonight. Okay. So now our regular YHST fresh. Usually every other episode we go back and forth and guessing the Rotten Tomato critic and audience score from 0 to 100, 59 below being rotten, 16 above being fresh. Alva, what's your rating on this? And then what do you think the audience rated it? And what do you think the critics rated it? And I'm also going to ask you that same question for The Whole Bloody Affair.
Okay.
So just OG Volume 2.
I give volume 2 a 76.
Go to hell. You good?
I feel like I'm already there, so I would,
Good.
you know, I think critics might have given it like an 80, and I think audience might have given it like 92.
Yeah, pretty close. Critics gave it an 84% and audience an 89%. Now, The Whole Bloody Affair, what is your rating?
I give it an 83.
Did you say 93?
83. 8.
And what do you think the critics gave it?
Oh my God.
Go on.
I think critics might have given it an 87 and audience might have given it a 95.
Critics gave it a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Rightfully so, for all the reasons I mentioned, which is why I was fighting for it. I'm like, look, I want people to still like you. And the audience liked it at 99%.
That's great.
It's a fucking near perfect movie, dude. Even watching it all together, I'm like, my mind is blown. Like the artistry, the logistics of putting all that shit together to carry the momentum, just all of it it's so fucking perfect, man. But yeah.
But overall, it did have a good storytelling, It didn't hop around where it would lose you. It covered all its bases. I may have not liked certain scenes, or it may have been a little bit too slow for me, or I may have favored Volume 1. But overall, it's a good movie.
Enough said. I'll take that. You guys have no idea how much stuff I edited out. A whole 5 minute argument about stuff because we wanted to die on the hill. It's like, no, that's marital dynamic. That's not the fucking podcast dynamic. Okay. Yeah. That being said, obviously, I ultimately just want to hear what you guys have to say about this movie. What your guys' thoughts are about this movie in any capacity, and if we did this movie justice. I mean, with these takes and breakdowns, like they're culturally significant movies for the most part, and so I feel like I'm never really going to do them justice. So I'm not super precious about it, but I just like having fun about conversing about these things. Except a movie like this where it's, my childhood. And
I think any Tarantino movie is like your childhood. Like it's you. Like,
early Tarantino. Yeah. Later Tarantino, like in my adulthood, it's like Inglourious Bastards. Jesus Christ. There's so many beautiful scenes. Oh, you've seen that movie.
Yeah,
of course, right?
I own it on DVD.
Yeah. All right. Let's go and close out the show. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Hope everybody enjoyed.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Chanukah. And
Happy New Year. We'll add that in there.
Yeah, because next episode is on New Year.
Yeah.
So, again, let us know what you thought about this movie down in the comments, on DMs, and anywhere else on social media at
YHSD Pod.
On Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you like this complete fucking nonsense where we're just babbling about movies, support us on Venmo at
YHSD Pod.
And please let me know if I need to change how I'm doing these episodes or if they're just enjoyable for what they are.
Yeah.
Because these are for me, but I want to make sure that they're listenable.
Also, I want to know if you disagree with how I thought about the movie, like my thoughts on the movie. Let me know what you think.
Her Instagram is at...
It's Elva. You know where to find me.
All right, guys. In the meantime, let us know what movies are on your growing list of films that has people asking you the question.
You haven't seen that?
Later, folks.
Okay, bye.
Please call me Esteban.